This is my final thoughts of the Morbidelli C1002V, and you might be surprised about what I've got to say. So I had the Morbidelli delivered to me around 2 weeks ago by motogb. I've done around 1,000 miles on this bike, including a review, long haul ride, and plus a living with ride. But the thing of it is, I've had an interesting experience. Let me tell you exactly what I think about this bike, plus answering that all important troll question that you often get when you ride an Italian bike. Now I want to start with looks, because part of my long haul ride review of this bike, I offered my patrons to come with me, and I had some interesting things happen. But most of all, I found that there was a trend. There was 3 things people did. The first time somebody sees the Morbidelli, they tend to go, and then the second time they see it, they go, and then the third time they see it, they go, That tends to be what people do, and I did it myself. When motogb offered me a list of bikes, I saw this one and I generally thought it looks a bit different. And I'll be honest, have you heard of MBP or Morbidelli? I hadn't, and that's the interesting thing. So when I saw it, I was like, I want to give that a try. So that's exactly what I did. And when it was delivered, I was like, do you know what, it looks quite nice. And then later on I looked and went, do you know what, I like it. And then it's kind of followed with, I really, really like it. It has that kind of Batman Dark Knight look. When I'm riding down the road, I'm going, I am Batman, because you can't help yourself. You do feel really, really cool. And the one thing it does do, the one thing it really does well, is people like to stop and stare. I just filled this bike up at a petrol station, and even the attendant said, oh, there's someone looking over your bike. People were walking around the petrol station to go and see exactly what this is. But now I want to move on to answering the trolls comment, because what you get is, whenever you review a bike, doesn't matter which country the bike's from, if the engine is made in China, you literally get the same thing. This is a Chinese bike, it's a Chinese engine, I'd never buy it, it's nothing to do with Italy whatsoever at all. Well, the thing of it is, they're wrong, because their head office, where they designed this bike, where this bike's put together, is in Italy. Yes, the engine's from China, but there's nothing wrong with that. What sort of really gets my bugbear going, just to answer that troll's question, just simply the phone that you're using to write that comment, the laptop that you're using to do your work on if you've got a job, and of course thirdly, that telly you're watching this review on, you better bin them all, because they were made in China. Well, hopefully I've answered the troll's comments. In case you don't know what a troll is, he's the man that believes that he is the ninja, the Rambo of the keyboard warrior world. The reality of it is, he's quite sad and quite jealous, and will put comments on people's things because it's his only satisfaction in life, because he can't get anything else. Anyway, shall we move on to this beautiful engine? Now the engine, what I found about the engine, this beautiful V-twin engine, is it pulls like a freight train. There is so much power and torque. I mean, it's a 997cc engine producing 93.8 horsepower, but it hasn't got that, do you know what I mean, that roar to it because of the exhaust. It is lacking that thunder. But one of the things I found, one of the things I enjoy doing, is when you're coming out of a bend and you've got a bit of a straight, Of course you've got sports mode, what makes the throttle extremely responsive, and it pulls. Now we'll pop it into sports mode, turn that throttle, and there's your power. Incredible amount of power. It is quite a lot of fun. Now don't get me wrong, you're not going to be racing around these bends at some kind of crazy speed. It's not going to happen because you're quite low with the exhaust and obviously these feet boards, but it's still a whole lot of fun to ride this bike. Going out for that blast and having that extra power, and knowing you can just whack it into sports mode for that additional fun, it does put an incredible smile on my face. Well, out here on the road, what I found in that 1,000 miles is one negative. That's a hard thing to say, isn't it? I only found one, and that negative simply is how hard the seat is. And I did moan a lot on my long haul review, and I ended up borrowing a seat cushion for my ride back from Cornwall to Northamptonshire, and that did help a lot. So that's the point really, isn't it, is that you can buy seat cushions like Engine Hawks and stuff like that that will go on, that just take away that firmness, because that's what I find. But then some people love a firm seat and that kind of firm ride. Maybe I'm just a little bit too tender on the buttocks. Now, things I have used quite a lot while I've been out and about during this 1,000 miles. The thing that I really like at the price point, now this is a 9.5 grand bike on the road for a, you know, basically a 1,000cc cruiser, a muscle bike. What I really like, it's got cruise control, and I have used cruise control quite a lot when I was hacking down the miles on the motorway. I love that feature. And the other thing that I really like is this TFT display. Right from the beginning, I've liked it. It's got your tyre pressures. That means every time I fire up the bike I go, oh, I know my tyres are good. I've got my gear selector, so I'm never sitting there going, have I still got another gear to go, or do I need to drop down, or where am I? It's there, and it's there in your face. Plus, obviously you can see your miles per hour. You can change that to kilometres if you're going abroad. Beautiful rev counter. Obviously fuel, it's dead handy to know to see that coming down. And of course your temperature, in case you're flying too quickly. But don't worry about temperature, because of course it is liquid cooled and it's got a fan that kicks in, and trust me, it kicks in on a hot day. I've heard it a few times. Another thing that's coming really handy during these rides is, I know it sounds silly, but this USB charger that comes as standard fitted, just comes standard, no paying extra for it like the cruise control or changing modes, or them selling you on a prescription basis so you could even use sports mode like some of them are doing. It just all comes as standard. What means when I had my phone holder on here for when I was doing my review, I could charge my phone, stress, hassle free, plug it in via USB, bada boom, bada bing. Do you want to know where you can get this beautiful bike from? This Morbidelli C1002V. Well, the thing of it is, all you need to do is pop over to motogb.co.uk, and you can literally go on their website, go to a local dealer, try one out, test ride one, see what it's like for yourself, and pick one up today, or order it online, and take my word for it that you're going to have a blast of a time. But the question is, which category do I put this bike in? Who is this bike for? Now, where would I put this bike? Who does this bike suit the most? Well, in my opinion, it's that 9 to 5er, the guy that works really hard in the office 9 to 5 every day and is looking for a powertrain to release that stress, a bike that's going to put a smile on his face. The kind of person that really enjoys riding to a really pretty country pub and enjoying a beer. Obviously non-alcoholic, because he wouldn't be drinking at all, or would he? But the biggest thing, that guy, you know, the one, you know, you, the one that goes, you know, I love jumping on my bike on a Sunday or a Saturday and going for a ride, finding a really picturesque country place and enjoying a coffee, or going to your favourite coffee shop and spending a lot of your time staring at its wonder. But you can get rid of that stress knowing that this has enough power to just get rid of it, to open up, to blow off the cobwebs this is definitely that. And that person that goes, do you know what, I just want to chuck on a rucksack and do a night away in a posh hotel, because this deserves to be sat outside that posh hotel where it belongs, so you can stare at it. That's where I'd place this bike. Now, I suppose for the big question, and for some of you the most important, would I buy the Morbidelli? Well, the answer is no. And you weren't expecting that, were you? But the reason why is, well, at the end of the day, I'm known as an influencer, a vlogger, a YouTuber. And for me, I'm here to review bikes. And I've got the bikes that I need to review in the garage. In regards to my product bike, I have one of them that I can easily take stuff off. I have my big adventure bike for when we're doing our big adventure vlogs. I even have my world traveling crazy 125cc bike. So that's the thing. This isn't for me, but there is one thing I think I will say, and that's, it's impressed me. And the thing of it is, I'm not gonna lie, I've become a bit of a fanboy of Morbidelli now. I like all their stuff. I like their bikes. I like that Italian feel to it. I like that rarity. That bike that most people walk past and go, what is it? Because they've never heard of it. And when you tell them, they instantly get impressed, especially when you mention the price point. But they think it's worth double that. And that's the thing. It's a rare bike, isn't it? You don't go past another one. How many have you even seen? And that's something that I think is really, really special. Now, I've said that, many people are probably going to buy it, but I actually think the price of this bike might go up in the future, because it's that kind of bike we don't see a lot of. But we'll find out. The one thing I'll say, being a new fanboy of Morbidelli, I can't stop looking at it. I can't stop thinking it looks really nice. So shall we have that one more look?
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go and burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go, so come what may. Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye. Let's have a toast for those lost old lives.